All right, so I guess we'll just get it started. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live Scribbles with Jonathan. You can check out my website and my work at jonathanrector.com. And as you can tell, we've got a little webcam. Where is it? Well, there it is there, but for you guys, it's down in the corner somewhere. I'll apologize right now for this action. Genetics suck, and then I shave it. But we're going to be drawing a lot like this today, and there's going to be a lot of shine, So maybe we can work on it. It's clean. It's not dirty, but other than that, check out what is it called? Patreon.com/JonathanRector if you guys wanted to support me there as well financially. Thank you. There's some perks for you guys to check out. I did want to say as well that Lars in the chat, I did see you guys talking and I didn't jump in. I just need to focus on this, but it's great to see you guys communicating in the chat. But Lars and I, he's in the chat right now, that's why I'm bringing him up. We actually had a Patreon meeting. So if you guys are interested in that, you can check it out over there and we can schedule one up. And if you do pledge that, it is once a month. If it's a recurring payment, that's cool. Or you can just do a one-shot, that's fine too. But we went over some work and stuff. I don't want to call Lars out, but if you guys have any questions, by all means, if you ask them, I'll answer them if I can. And if Lars wants to answer them as well, he can do that as well. And hopefully it was a good experience for him. I had a lot of fun. It sounded like he had a lot of fun. And all that good stuff like that. What else we got? I guess that's about it. I mean, we'll come up with stuff as we go. Today what we're going to be working on is Worlds in Peril. I might do a critique at the end of the show. I'm not 100% yet. If we will do that, we'll see how far we get along with this. Tonight I can't actually sleep until this image here is done, and the other image that we worked on during the pre-show here. Last thing I will say as well, if you are watching on YouTube, thanks so much. Make sure to subscribe if you're a new viewer of the show and stuff. And if you wanted to catch the live streams, they're every Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's an awesome chat in there, lots of wonderful people in there, all kinds of cool stuff going on in there. And if you can't, the recorded version, which you're probably watching right now if it's on YouTube, is uploaded every weekend. So you can make it if you can make it. If not, that's cool too. And also if you go over to, what is this, Picardo.tv, just click in the link below in the description. You'll be able to go here. You can subscribe there as well. And whenever I do any streams during the week, you'll be sent an email notification. And hopefully I can get this going. That way we can talk to you guys and, you know, get a little one-on-one action here. So, yeah, again, and the other thing too, I want to get back into helping you guys with like any kind of question you had. Like how to draw shoulders, arms, faces, whatever. Once this project's done as well. I know this show started off like that, and because of the immediacy of this project, unfortunately I've been slacking on that. So thank you for those that have been asking for that to return, and we'll get back to it soon. We're in the home stretch, just like I said last week. There's this one. And the one that I just finished, then I just got to color them. There's not much here that's left. These images are pretty small. We're going to go into Photoshop to color these, but they're pretty simple to color. There's not like a lot of like atmosphere and stuff. I will add some things in here, but like drawing-wise, like as you can see, let me just turn off some layers. It's pretty clean, and I wanted to kind of talk about the process here as well. And I want to do a video on it. I think I've done a video, or I don't know, about this. It seems like my process is changing all the time, but I'm actually getting some solid results with this workflow that I'm working on right now that I enjoy. Some people might not like it. That's cool. Oh, and then there's 4 double page spreads. Those are going to be a lot of work, but it's different. But it's a lot of work. As for the hips, this is supposed to be a corset, so it's supposed to suck in uncomfortably. So I don't know how women wear that stuff, but guess you gotta do it sometimes. I don't exactly know the situation where it's like corsets mandatory. Unless you're in maybe a certain profession. Leave it at that. So here we're gonna do some crystals and stuff hanging around here. The background, I'm gonna cheese big time. I want to set all the focus on her, which I don't think will be a problem because she's pretty prominent in here. Tried to do a, I don't know if you guys play League of Legends at all. There's a gentleman's YouTube channel that I follow. I think I told you guys about it. What is his name? Keenan Lafferty, I believe his name is. Highly recommend you check out his YouTube channel. I think it's phenomenal. I'm glad I stumbled upon it, and hopefully you guys are already checking it out. But one of the things that I really like about his stuff is he talks a lot about like bettering yourself, being just like a better person, getting more work done. I don't want to say the business side, but like not the like this is technical art, right? Like we could talk all night about this stuff. You know, going over like okay, so process, like I said, that I wanted to talk about. You know, tools I use and stuff, and that's all fine. But there's the other side of drawing that I think ultimately is more important, which is like, you know, it could be networking, it could just be trying to figure out what it is, why you're getting stuck at not drawing so much, you know, like motivation and things like this. And he talks a lot about that kind of stuff, and I really like that. If you want to call it like the self-help kind of stuff, I always enjoy that kind of thing. Anyway, so he's worked for, I think he's working for now Riot Games, the people that do League of Legends. I've tried to get into that game, but the time commitment is just bums me out. I'd rather play like a single-player role-playing game that I can hold in my hands. Speaking of which, maybe I'll grab that out in a second and show you guys that. But anyway, I noticed he was doing a lot of shots like this, and I wanted to incorporate something. Even if I'm doing client work like this, I like to try to learn more things as I'm going, which might be another reason why things tend to take so long, because I'm experimenting as I go. But you guys all know about the rule of thirds, I hope, where if you split this up into 3 sections, one of the intersections should be the focal point, or at least a focal point. So her face is roughly where it should be. It should actually be probably like right here. But it was more of this shot that I was looking for. Like this is hopefully it comes across as like an intimidating shot. She's powerful. She's looming over you. And in here, I don't know if you guys can read it. It says Hero's Stat. If you don't know what a stat is, I'll show you. We're going to go to Photoshop. And what that is it's just an image taken from like a previous page or something. So if you ever see like I don't know, a Superman comic, because we were talking about that in the chat. So if Superman was like here and he's talking, and then here we have a panel of Batman. Close up, he's, you know, dark Batman. In this panel here, instead of redrawing Superman, this is pretty lazy. I think a lot of people don't like reading it like this. If you read Invincible, they do it quite a bit. I don't mind it. But what you would do is you just write like stat panel 1. And that way the colorist knows, okay, I'm just going to take this and paste it in here. It just saves time instead of having to redraw it. So in this case, instead of drawing the heroes, I'm going to go through our library, see all the pictures of the heroes that we've drawn, where it's like a group shot. Maybe mix it up a little bit, but I'm just going to paste it in here, add like a little ball kind of effect to it, like a warp, and probably put like, I don't know, some light or something. I'm assuming this is going to light the whole scene, and then here I'm just putting some crystals kind of hang from the sky. Let me just scroll up here, because I know you guys were chit-chatting away. And if you have any questions, please ask it in all capitals, that way I can see it quick. What do we got there? Thanks for the support, guys. I appreciate that. All right, some people do know Keenan. Great, that's good to hear. Yeah, I've ever since I found his channel, there's like 1 or 2 that got me into it. But a lot of the things he does, I'm very excited to try. It's very exciting. Is there a reason that her middle fingers don't have a nail? Oh, there is a nail there. Hey, on. There is a nail here you can see. The reason why it's not there is, why is this doing this? Is she's kind of got like, if you look at my pink glove, these, I had somebody comment on these before. I have this, and there's this one here that I cut up. They were gardening gloves at the dollar store, and I just cut these out so that they can breathe and get some air in there so it doesn't get too hot. And I just use this instead of buying like those gloves that you see all the people use on YouTube and stuff. Anyway, so imagine her hand is basically like this glove. So her middle finger is in the glove, and every other digit, like these ones here, everything but the middle finger, and the middle finger and the thumb is covered in this like latex leather sort of thing. You'll see when we get into the coloring of it, it'll make it pop. It's just like a style thing. Yeah, search, there you go, James is helping out. And for those of you that aren't checking the chat, just search KNKL. That's the name of his show. He's got some really fun stuff on there that I can't actually wait to try to do, where it's like, it's League of Legends stuff, if you don't know what that is, a cool video game. They do a lot of really interesting things. I plan on doing some of the stuff here for like Castle Dracula, where we can have the picture of like the castle or something, and then just him kind of like moving in front. It's just a cool little teaser thing that you can put on a video for YouTube. Try to get some more interest in like your comics and your ideas and stuff, right? So what we're doing here, sorry, Larry's saying, Jonathan, we were talking about the hips before, and you were talking about key something with me the other day. Yep, about the collarbone, and you said you had something for the hips as well. Oh, it's in that book. I don't know if I have it here. I should. It's the, what the hell is it called? Figure Drawing, Design, and Invention. That's what it is. And what they talk about here, I'll just quickly go with you guys real quick. Like Emma, yeah, that's, there you go. Okay, so, what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, so, in that book, the author talks about keystones, and if you can remember keystones on your characters, that it's easier to figure out for shortening and where to place certain muscles and stuff. So for the chest, we'll just use a simple shape. If you think of like, I'm just going real basic here. This shape like this, that's your collarbone. This is what he calls a keystone, okay? So no matter what you do, if just say it's a sideways character, right? Sorry, and this is the middle of the chest. That's your collarbone. That's a keystone. That's what he calls it anyway. He also does this one where he kind of does this to make it look like a tie, and this is where like your sternum hits, and then your ribs, they come down off of it like that. So again, you can still follow it here, just like it's like a tie, really, right? And you're just kind of carving it out, and all of this would be cut out. And that's just one way of thinking of it. For the hips, if I remember correctly, I'll just do another circle for it. It was, you can't really do a circle. Okay, you got to kind of carve it. So imagine, I'm just going to carve the top of it off. Okay, and we'll put the straight line in there. And what it is it's about the middle. You just put little dots like this, and if you divide this in half, this little line will come in here like that. This is getting confusing, I know. And then you could kind of do the underwear shape if you wanted. Let me just erase it so you can kind of see it. And the reason for this is in this little bucket area here that you've made, this is where like your abs go. Your abs all tuck right into there. And then on your outside, that's where like these little, the love handles, or whatever those muscles are called, they'll go in there as well, okay? So if I were to apply it here really quickly, now I like to use boxes for this stuff. So we'll do a box. And this is if somebody's standing up straight. Wherever the rib cage here, it's basically the same on here, on the box, right? And if you divide that in half, you just kind of draw like a little bucket. And this just makes all the abs and stuff tuck in real nice. And then these would be your like love handle muscles, and that all connects underneath. And what this does is it's a really cool way that like everything fits nice in here. And if you want to do that underwear shape, you know, and your junk would go here, and then your legs would kind of come off like that. So if you were to do the sideways version here, I'll do the box again. And we'll find about the center points. Divide it in half. A little bucket. And all your cool abs will fall in here. And get the little love handle, guys. If you wanted to cut those off to turn them into like short seat, and your legs can go in there. So that's basically how it works. Highly recommend getting that book for yourself, you guys. Again, it's a Figure Drawing, Design, and Invention. Not I was gonna say Design and Adventure, Anatomy Adventure books by Michael Hampton. I'm going to be going through it again because there's little things that you guys got so many questions I want to help with. I have to really finish this. I'll try to see if there's anything that I can throw out there. So I apologize, guys, if I'm just if it seems like I'm blowing you off here. I don't mean to be doing that. James asking, any tricks on male-female versions of where the legs attach? They all attach the same place. The side, like if you can just think of doing underwear shapes, and that's the center, you know, or your belly button would be there. This is more of a guy's shape. Like a guy's shape is pretty square. The female version tends to flare out a bit, and the obvious reason for that is a baby has to fit in here, right? That's it. And it needs, and this might get, this is just the way I understand it. You, whatever, it's real life, whether it's just my interpretation, but babies have to come out as well, right? So the bigger the bottom part here, the more it can come out. So it's just an easier, for whatever reason, that's the way I remembered it when I was trying to design or reading instructors' versions on anatomy and like this basic shape here. So that when you're doing the underwear shape here, the ladies' hips, they tend to flare out more, and then the legs will come out like this. And that doesn't mean the gap in between has to be big or anything like that. A lot of people's thighs touch, you know, there's whatever. But it's just an easier way to remember, whereas the guys, there's nothing that needs to be there, so they can kind of have their legs sticking out like that. That's it. You're just making this box, instead of going like if it was from the side, like a guy's, a female's one would shoot out at the sides a little bit more. That's it. Just like that. Step by step. Oh, you guys. Okay. Let's see how fast we can get this. Alright, so I want to have, what I'm trying to do here is having these repeating shapes. So you can see, like I have, I'll put some smaller ones. They're supposed to be just like crystals hanging from the roof or the ceiling. And because I have varying shapes, I can get real big right here to help with the composition. And what this does is, you know what that is based on everything else that's around it. So I can put little small ones in the background here. I don't know if you guys can hear this the squeaking stylus. It only does that like as I keep drawing like these fine little lines. It just started now. Yeah. The cats are preoccupied right now outside. They're looking outside, and there's like neighborhood cats, the tomcats just walking around. Alright, so we have this. Let me just turn off the background here. I just want to see. Like I can, you know what, that's okay. I'm not gonna, I was going to have like some cloth, you know, back here and have like a door, and it would look really cool. I'm gonna make a creative decision not to include it, and hopefully I can just do it with color. I can imply the background in the cloth, which is a color. But the liner is just a little too simple. I want to put a little bit of love into at least the character here, because she's so important. She is the focal point, and without that, without any kind of detail here, it just feels like it's too open, even for me. Really quickly, I'll talk about the process. Let me just back up here so you guys can kind of see where we're at. You guys were probably here during some of the streams, or you saw me posting on Facebook and stuff. So this is exactly right here. If you see, these are the keystones I was talking about. Yeah, I have to show you guys some of the stuff with the Huion. And now that I got the kind of camera set up, maybe I'll get a better webcam. This one's not very good. But so you can see how ghetto my standing setup is. Anyway, so I have these box shapes. You guys just saw me do that with you. And just trying to figure out where she's going to be. This is just a blown up, what's it called? Thumbnail. And then once the energy's done to that thumbnail, from here I try to put the perspective and form on there. Then from there I just did another layer with just a pen. And this is starting to figure out the details, like the muscles that'll go over top of things, starting to solidify some of the major things that are important on the image here. And some things change, you know. Down here is a little different now. And yeah, so anyway, so we got all that stuff. Now, this is where the style, or the workflow that I'm currently using, or now that I really enjoy working in, comes into play. So the very first thing I did, just to make sure it's right, is there's some erasing here because I had to fix as we went, but it's just this, is getting my contour line down. This is the shape. If I were to fill her in all black, hopefully you can still tell who it is, as well as see the form. There's like right here, her hand is overlapping her arm, so that might cause some like weird, like if my arm was up here and all this was black, you might not see all of this. So if it was just a black shape, you might not know somebody has their hand pointing at you. And you want to make sure that's as clear as possible. I know there's a lot of superhero poses, especially like the Flash, where he might run at you like this. But just by bringing the arm over like that, or even up like this, so you can see more of the character, very important, very important. And that's all I'm worrying about, is that. So even though her arm is cutting into her hand like this, I put extra fingers outside of that to help really accentuate that. And right here, I'm being very careful not to have the thumb touch her hip so that it separates it. And then from there, really all it is just making your new layers, and now I'm going in there and adding the details. That's it. And trying not to render unless, I don't know, it just seems like that's what I feel like doing at the time. But I tried to hold off on rendering and just mostly focusing on line weights and like lines. So now that I have all this, I'm going to do the shadowing and the rendering and stuff like that. And I find it's actually very quick. It's speeding up my process big time. And I don't know about you guys. You guys let me know if like you feel like the quality's taking a hit, you don't like it. Constructive feedback is always good. And like I said, I know I want to have like a dramatic light source coming from here. Just zoom out a bit. But, well, we'll see where we go. Because I know there's going to be a lot of color work. What's that, Larry? Sorry, but it really helped me with the boxes, so I wanted to make you pay attention to the boxes. Oh, okay. Actually, I guess I can do one thing here. I kind of shared with Lars. Something that I've done a lot to understand boxes. I know a lot of people, they just don't. They hear people talking about it and stuff like that. Let's see if we can get something here. But the importance of boxes and filling up sketchbooks, honestly, with just boxes, which show the character, is that it will make complex poses easier to see and understand. Because if you can break it down into a box, you can do anything. Kind of like that. What's that movie? Dodgeball. You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a ball. Oh, it's such a good movie. So I'm just going to open this up here. I just typed action pose in Google, and there's a female here in 3 poses. I'm going to paste her in here and just show you. This is actually, I talked to Lars about this. I forget if I actually showed you this or not. But this is what you can do to get started. I highly recommend looking at this and drawing it like here, like, you know, draw underneath of it and understand it yourself. Break it down in your brain so that you can, you know, do this and then do your own. But to start, I would do this as well. Let me just close this. To get my sketchbook and getting this ready to go, sometimes, you know, it's tough to like, how the hell do you break some of these down, these complex poses here, into boxes? You know, that's some wild stuff. So let's go to color here. I'm just going to change it. I'm going to go to like a red. Let's just get a marker. That's good. Okay, and we're just going to lower the opacity. And I bet you guys know what we're going to do. We're just going to draw over top. So let's start with this one. This one makes a little more sense. So what you're doing is you're trying to figure out where's the box shapes, right? So what are the areas that are your box? You've got your collarbone, which we talked about, which is here. And the shape, I add like a little bit of bend to the boxes. It just gives it a little bit of energy. What you're doing is you're trying to figure out how is her body, or whatever character you're doing, how do these shapes actually work in perspective? Okay. And I'll use blue here as well. With blue, what we're going to do is we're going to use that as like the center line. So she's got her chest here. Her butt's going to, it's right in the middle here, right? And we're going to have this twist. I'm not going to worry about the twist. I just want to show you guys like just that. And then figuring out too as well, if you'd like, the keystone areas that I talked about. Like there's a collarbone. The leg's going to come out like this. I'm not sure if any of you guys are actually trying this. I know I keep talking about Lars here, just because it's fresh in my memory still. But a lot of people would like to just go to their favorite artist and look for the style, which is great because they want to draw really cool characters and poses. But if you don't understand this, this is the basics, right? If you can't do this, even to your favorite comic book artist, their style, you're I don't want to say you're wasting your time, but you're not helping you're not doing yourself any favors. That's probably the best way of saying it. You're not really helping yourself out to understand how to break these characters down in shapes, so that when it gets time for you to sit down and draw your own stuff, you're good, you know? And you'd be surprised how much of this seeps into your subconscious. Okay? So anyway, that's just really quickly. I'll turn the layer off so you guys can see. And this is it. That's the boxes. You know, like there's nothing here. That's it. This is how simple it is. The difficult part is drawing this on your own and seeing these, oops, and drawing them without drawing on there. Like for this character here, all right, let's see if I can get it. You guys will see how loose this version is compared to the one that I drew over top of it. Right? So if we put this one over top, you can see how far off I was from even getting it right. So you see, I understood this, but the pelvis, I was kind of lost. So that's why it's very important to be able to do this sort of stuff. Okay? So do this, do lots of this. Then you can worry about doing all this stupid stuff. All right. Why is everything gray all of a sudden? I could have swore this was white. Nope. There we go. All right, let's get some shadow work going on here. Thank you. All right, so a lot of this is wax. It's definitely not wax. It's like it's basically leather and latex. So I'm just going to carve out shapes like we normally do. And just remember that it's a pretty reflective surface. The way everybody draws leather is a little different. Some people it's like plastic leather. Sort of what I'm going with here. Just trying to figure out like some round shapes. I don't want to lose the form. Awesome, thanks. No, okay, I don't know if Lars is. Alright, so we'll get there. Well, let's put some more shines. We're gonna probably, I don't know, we'll see. Let's just keep going. So we got that. Let's get the latex on this one too. A lot of this is gonna be in shadow. Yeah, I am, Michael. Make sure we just keep the lighting simple here. I'll just go with the straight black line there. And all of that's going to be in shadow. Like that. Okay, so we'll see how that's looking. Alright, so I'm going to start filling this in with black. Yeah, you'll see when we get to coloring. We'll definitely be able to get there. If I can just speed this up. When did I start standing up? I've been going back and forth with standing up. I've just lately, okay, well, basically when I got this new tablet, it's much bigger and it's more comfortable working with more space, and now that I can kind of move around, it's good. But the big driving force was I was doing a lot of Worlds in Peril work, and as you guys know, I work at a video game company, And so I work in Photoshop basically all day, and I sit all day. And then when I come home, I sit to do work, like drawing, like this project and stuff. And I can feel what it's doing to me, all this sitting and inactivity, and it's actually concerning, which is why I want to get into, I don't want to say a fitness regimen or anything, but definitely more physical activity once this project's done and time, take it, just make it more important, that's all. So the easiest way I can do that is figure out a standing setup. And literally all I have right now is a computer desk, and at Walmart I bought these nightstand tables for a house that I used to live in. And now that I'm in my new place, or I've been here for a while now, these things, like, I'm always here. I'm never in my living room. I'm in like no room besides this, the bathroom, the kitchen, and my bedroom. That's it. I have like 2 other rooms in my house I don't even use. I don't even use my backyard, guys. So I'm here, and these things were doing nothing. So I put them up, and I said, let's give it a try. And it's actually a really good distance. It might be a little higher because there is a little bit of a bend that's happening, but I can actually just get like some books or something to put up here and just bring it up. And the thing is, that's the best part about it is, I mean, this cost me whatever those things, and they're very cheap. I didn't break the bank to buy these things. And it lets me stand, and my feet hurt all the time because I'm never on them. Horrible. But it's definitely helping with posture. This might sound stupid too. Breathing feels better. Who would have who would have figured that? But I will say I recommend everybody get a standing desk, or figure out a way to make your desk currently into a standing one, because those ones can be really expensive. But if you guys are doing digital work or working with computers all the time, like, this isn't like surprising anybody, but sitting all the time is bad for you. It's really bad for you. And we're going to be drawing hopefully for the rest of our lives, right? And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think that would the worst way to go would be because you sat too much. That's ugh. We deserve better than that. So this character's name is I always say it wrong. Is it Suede or Sade or something? Sadeid. That's her name, Sadeid, and she's a villain, obviously. And it's for Worlds in Peril. It's a tabletop role-playing game. It'll be coming out soon. Everybody's just waiting on me to finish the artwork. Go figure. We'll get better. So I don't want to spend too much time on there. Toilet like Elvis, but you're still sitting. So imagine, maybe he sat too much too. I don't know. I know he gained some weight. Yeah, you guys can run my backyard. We'll set up a studio in the back. Could turn out to something sweet. So we got to be careful here because there's a lot of areas that can be lost in the shadow. It might be okay. Yeah, I don't want to put that back. So that's going to be black. This is white. Go back to black in there. Trying to see this in my head. Okay, let's see how this is going. Whew. Is that right? Oh, black in there. Yeah, alright, we're going to have to draw back with white just to pull some of these shapes back, because, like, that's a hot mess. I don't know what the hell. A lot of these things, like this whole finger just got lost. So we're going to draw back with white just to pull the shapes back in. Alright, what else we got? Her head's got metal on it. So no, just that. Okay. And this is the last area here that's got like this latex leather going on. Okay, so I don't know. We'll just see how much we want to. This is dangerous because I want to go in here and just start adding shadow to everything, or like black. I think what we'll do is we're just going to do some rendering instead. That way we can jump right into the colors and get that going. So let's see what we need to push here. We need to make sure that this whole area is in perspective. So where is light hitting? It's probably going to hit this area right here, the top of, or the bottom of her top abs there. So what I'll do is, let's rotate this. And I'm just going to do some rendering to lead into it, and then we'll just erase it. So I kind of want to go quick to get some nice lines. But you got to remember, we're kind of cheating here because we get to use the pattern on her corset, the perspective. And we can just go ahead and erase here. Let's see how that looks. I don't know if you, but when you draw the fingers in the cloche form, you always draw the ring finger longer than the others. I don't know. It might be a style thing. I'm not sure. It's sort of, I think when I'm drawing it, this is what I'm thinking of, is like that kind of shape like this. Just because like I always draw hands in a certain way, and it's why I want to practice, obviously, to get better and to get a better visual library. So when I need to do hands, it's not always the same, which you're seeing a lot of, which is good and bad. But when I draw like the claw like this, if these two fingers are always up, and this next one, like, you would feel like that might be what you want to do, and that's fine, but I want to have like some dynamic in there, so that's why I go like that. I shoot this one so it curves more down, and then the pinky's kind of coming up. That's what I'm trying to do anyway. But you know, if I'm doing that all the time, like you can see her hand's doing it there. Like, they're basically the same style of hand. The pinky's a little up on that one, but it is something that I want to do more of for sure. So, excuse me. Thanks for bringing that up. Oops. How did you change your mirrored camera setting? So right here, I don't know if this is in the default Manga Studio up at the top here. I want to say it's not. I don't know, it's got to be. But I just press that and it flips it. If you don't have this up here, go here, go File, and then it will be Command Bar Settings. You click that, and you can actually, I think you can make a bunch of different ones. Oh, my camera. How do I change them? This is, I don't know, it's just default. Is it mirrored? I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know. I just plugged it in. It's literally no help at all. Sorry. Let's just see what we got here. Trying to build up more volume on the side here. I'll just flip it here, see what it's looking like. Where's her eyes? There we go. This one I just want to make a little bigger, just bugging me a little bit. Actually, let's fill these in too. Just trying to see that, like the black, right? Like trying to make the black pop here. So something you can do as well is squinting your eyes. You know, like I know, at least I hear anyway, squinting your eyes can be bad if you're doing it a lot. But I find if you squint and you're worrying about your light sources, or just stacking white on black here, things will pop a little bit so you can squint, or you can just zoom out, but squinting's quicker. You need to squint and see, like, is there too much white, is there too much black, is there not enough? Like there, I'm going to add some. I'm going to add some here just to make these areas a little bit more interesting. What is up there? Let's navy light. A lot of this whole side actually. Let's just do that. So now what I'm doing is I'm adding shadow when I said I wasn't going to. That's the problem I find, at least it's a habit I have, is once I start adding shadow, like black line art, it's so hard to restrict myself. And I end up just going in there and it's just like, alright, well, let's just keep going. Let's just keep adding shadow. Like, I like the way it looks or else I wouldn't do it. Yeah, I bet. You know, what's going on in Baltimore, I don't want to get into too much, but that I don't know, it pisses me off, man. Like, if you want to protest, cool. I'm not there, I don't live there, I don't know what's going on. I don't know the full details. But to riot and go steal chips and beer and electronics, like, I'd have to imagine if you're going to protest against the police for their brutality, years and years of just cops doing what they want to you, like you get to be upset, obviously, right? And then somehow the pulse going through the city in your life starts to lead you to, all right, we're going to go out, we're actually going to make a stand and do something, like, you know what I mean? Like, do something. And all of a sudden, like, teenagers and just punks, like, they just start breaking things. Like, I don't understand how destruction gets your point across. Again, I'm not there, so I don't know 100%. Right. Anyway, thanks, Matador. You guys make me inspired to draw, so everybody's here helping everybody else out. Oh, I got like a cat hair here. Okay. We're almost done here, and then we can get into some colors. Some colors. Actually, I think I just want to add a little bit of light to her lips. And I think it's time to walk away from this. I can't. There's... damn it. Damn it. Start adding too much shadow. If you leave some stuff out, like it just looks like you don't know what you're doing. You don't want that. You don't want it to look like you don't know what you're doing. See you later, Scourge. Scourge, jeez. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so we're going to say that's enough of this one here, and then we're going to go do some coloring here. So let's save it up. I'm going to layer, merge layers. That way it'll flatten everything into one. I'm going to make sure to turn it to gray. Just makes the... I will turn the color when we go into Photoshop, but this is just inks, right? There's no reason to save this as color. The file size is actually significantly bigger in color. So we're going to export it as a TIFF. Okay. Okay. Save that, and let's get Photoshop open here. And actually, we got about I want to do a 24-hour stream. A lot of people have been asking about that actually, and I think that's awesome. Over the weekend, possibly. I don't know. We'll see. Not tonight though. I got to work tomorrow. But my hand's really hurting here. God. So we got about 10 minutes left. So if anybody had any questions about how to do something art-wise, maybe I can help you out. And I'll use these last 10 minutes to answer any questions you guys got regarding specifically drawing. Is this one comics? Oh my god. Is that my brushes? Yeah. Okay. So let's open up some stuff. I actually want to draw our color in. Talking like it's a like it's a coloring book. I want to do the alien guy first. He looks really fun. Let's open both of these up here. So we got 93 and 94. Am I doing the 24-hour comic book day? Do you know when that is off the top of your head? And legs. Any tips or approach for legs? Yeah, Pillow, no, I agree. The background I didn't add any shading to because I'm going to do that with color. It just makes it quicker. If I was just doing inks and handing it off to a colorist, then yeah, I would have definitely put it in there. Do you mainly use Manga Studio 5 for inks and sketching? Yes, that's right. I use Manga Studio to do basically all my artwork, and Photoshop to do, I didn't do it here, but if I was doing paths, like faces of buildings, so I don't have to draw all the windows all the time, like if you need it, I'll go into Photoshop for some of that technical stuff. But the artwork I get is just way better in Manga Studio personally. I think a lot of people feel the same way for their own stuff, not mine. But the coloring, I'm just comfortable in Photoshop. I've always used Photoshop, and it's quicker for me, at least that I know of. Oh, that was loud. And we're going to do the legs here in a second. I'm just trying to find where the hell this other one went. 191. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. I have not used Sketchbook Pro. Some people have asked me about it, but no, I have not used it. Hey Matt, I want to say thanks for the introduction to your airbrush friend. Oh, hey Matt. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, nice. I need to respond to him tonight. Still interested in commission with you. Leg pads. Cool. Thanks again. Yeah, he's Dan's an awesome guy, man. He ran into me when I was working at the gas station. Whoa, man, many years ago. I just bring my sketchbook there and just draw from muscle magazines, girl magazines, whatever I could grab my hands on. And he'd come in from time to time, usually on like a weekend, and we'd just kind of shoot the breeze for a little bit. Great guy, great guy. And I'm glad he's doing a lot of more artwork now. Yes, hopefully you guys can work something out. Okay, so we're in Photoshop here. Let me just double check. Okay, so what was it? Tips for legs? Is that what it was? Any tips on applying muscles to the boxy forms? Oh, we got a bunch of good ones here. Okay. Legs. Any tips or approach for legs? Okay, so for legs, this is what I usually do for legs. Why does this keep disabling? October 4th for 24-hour comic book day. Let me write that down. I'm going to put that in my calendar. It's been a few years since I've done it. I love it. I thought it was amazing. October 4th for our comic day. And if you guys are able to do it, I mean, you don't have to wait till then, but it's a little bit more of a community thing. But it's awesome. Okay, so you can't figure out what goes on with the legs or bent. So I'm not perfect in this, but I'll just show you guys how I kind of go about it. I'm not going to break down things as simple. I'm just going to go as like if I was to do it naturally here, okay? So, so again, my workflow lately has been to just kind of get the energy in here. We're going to do like we'll do Spider-Man. Because, well, Spider-Man. He's not going to have any arms, okay? That way I don't have to show what's kind of going on. All right, so we got the gesture in here. We can feel it, right? All right, we'll put them on like a chimney stack or whatever. So again, my process lately has been, you just do this. We're going to lower our opacity here, make a new layer. And this is where I'm worrying about the boxes. Hopefully this can help you guys, or hit two birds with one stone here, okay? So now that I have the gesture, now I'm worrying about the structure or the boxes, right? You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be perfect. Eventually you'll get there, but I'm just trying to keep it understandable here. So this will be our torso here, and we're going to worry about this. And I used to just kind of skip this or wing it. I'm trying to make a much more conscious effort of doing this, just because I'm getting better art out of it. That's all it really is. So from here, we need to figure out where do the thighs connect from here, right? Now, you can see my sketch, I have them way flared up, and it looks really cool. We can still do that, but there needs to be some structure to it. I can't just, I could, but I'm not going to just throw them in here because, you know, there's a level of it that starts to look like it's too pushed that I don't like myself. You might dig it in your own stuff, so experiment with it. But remember what I said? So around here is where like all the ab stuff's gonna fit in there. You don't have to do that all the time. But what I like to use it for is to figure out our underwear shape, and then I can start to figure out where things are going here. So this one, I know this area is going to give me a little bit of trouble. So let's sort of figure this out. So the legs got to come forward here. So I'm going to actually bring these up here. So it's coming at us. And then I like to do this little line thing so I can see the volume, right? I can see it in space. And then we're just going to add another one down here. And this one's going to actually do like, it's coming at us and going behind us. We're going to go into some feet. Now this one, we're going to do the same thing. These are really pushed. And you can see I'm still being pretty, you can see I'm still being pretty sloppy with it. I don't want to lose the energy, but I just want more information in here that helps me understand where a lot of this stuff would go. So that's our neck hole that would be there, right? So Spidey could have his head like way down here. Whatever. Again, I'm not going to draw his arms. Whatever. So let's zoom in just so you guys can see what we're going to do next. So let's turn off the layer underneath of it. Now it's time for the anatomy that we're going to put on here. So let's lower this again. And I'll actually draw it in like a red. You guys can kind of see it. So what I do here is, for me, I like to worry about the bone area, like elbows, wrists, kneecap, stuff like that. The hard work we already just did with these cylinders helps us with our joints big time, right? So we've got a square that's coming at us like this, which theoretically could be your knee. That's what I'm trying to think of, okay? Now the reason why I like to think about the bone area here, right, there's your ankle, because now I know that's my constraints. So I'm going to really pop out this calf muscle here. And remember to follow the perspective that you've already given yourself. Right? Do the same on this side. This one's kind of flared out a little bit more. Now the leg, it's kind of got this, there's a lot of tendons that come up near the crotch area, right? And you can just, there's the leg goes like this. This is like I'd draw it if it was straight. Something like that. And the shape over top of it would just look like this. So you got your knee, you've got one muscle that pops like this that goes over the front of the knee, right? This other one kind of wraps around like that, and then this one comes up. And there's like some ligaments, and then goes into there. All in here is like your crotch area, right? But there's like all these tendons and stuff, and then your butt muscle kind of goes over there. So as long as you can remember that, and do your best when you're getting all these folded muscles. That, like, as you can see, I don't have much room in here, so I don't have to fit everything in here. I don't have to draw every single muscle. There's just certain muscles, like this whole leg pops up because of this muscle right here. And this one still wraps up there, so it's got to pop up. But, you know, it's the same thing. We're going to have this, the inside muscle here pops. Maybe we'll see the top part of it. And we've already drawn like all this stuff in here. And this is why this is important, guys, right? Because like I can draw the top part of the ab here, which makes it look like the pelvis is going into the distance. These abs, they can be pretty straight. And then this one, I can just draw the bottom. And what we're getting is this cool like shape and perspective here, right? Like I'm being very like gross with a lot of this anatomy here, but hopefully you understand it. So if we turn that off, so you can kind of see what's going on here. So if that makes sense to you. So that's kind of the bend I'm going. Well, I don't. The guy isn't. He's not packing tackle for sure, but you know, you can put a bulge in there, whatever you like. What the hell tool is this? What is this? Spot healing. Cool. But anyway, finding the knee is key. I find it to be key. I find any kind of like joint area on the body is very key. I'll just do one last one with like the arm. So, you know, go real quick with just figuring out our cylinders and stuff. And our hand will go here. Lower the opacity. Start again. Figure out our perspective. It's kind of like a cone shape too, right? We're worrying about our form here. Let's still worry about the joint that's there. It's very straight. The hand, don't worry about that. Now it's time for the anatomy on here. Right? Let's do our shoulder. Our collarbone will be somewhere over here. But as long as I know where that elbow is, even if I can't see it, I need to know where it is. It tells us certain things, like our tricep, the first one shows up here, and the other one will go behind it, you know. Our forearm muscles. There's a line that goes right there to the wrist. And now I know where my elbow is, so I know where my bicep's gonna fit in. Just like that. Okay? So hopefully this helped you guys out. Again, just fill your sketchbooks up with this. It's boring as hell. Nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna say, "Hey man, your art," or "Hey girl, your art's sweet. Look at those boxes." Nobody's gonna tell you anything about this stuff. Everybody's gonna just blah blah blah. Fill sketchbooks up with this. Understand it. Very important. Check marks. Very important. This anatomy stuff. It's important, but not even as close to important as this. And then worrying about like breaking things down into simple shapes. You know, drawing cars in perspective. It's still boxes. You can break everything down into very simple shapes, and if you can do this stuff here, guys, you know, it makes drawing everything easier. Okay, so highly recommend doing all this stuff. It's not a waste of time. It's very important. I'll show you. Do I have a sketchbook? I don't know if I have one in here, but it's literally just a binder with hole punched printer paper that I put in there. It's cheap. Go to the dollar store, buy a pack of 100 blank pieces of paper or wherever for like $1, $2. Get a binder for $2. You got a sketchbook. It's just for you. Just fill it up with this. Like you just gotta. All it is connecting the dots for your brain. That's all this is. And you don't. Also, on my own behalf here, I don't get to the cool anatomy stuff by skipping this. If I go to the anatomy stuff, excuse me, what happens is a lot of things just tend to look the same, or they're just muscles. There's nothing to them. It's just boring looking. And you're going to run into problems such as this right here, right? Where did it go? This here. Like if you wanted to draw like knees coming at us, and that's not to say that like Matt in our studio or whatever, there's anything wrong with what he's doing. He's struggling and he's asking a question, which is great. But as artists, I find we get problems with foreshortened anatomy and bends and twists because, and it's as simple as this, you aren't working enough to understand a box and how it twists. Like how do we get like a twist in that box? How does this work? You know what I mean? Like how does all that work? So as long as you get to do this stuff, you're saving yourself headaches down the road, and it's just like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get, and the faster you'll be able to get there. So, with all that, I will say goodnight to you guys. I appreciate everybody that stopped by. And if you wouldn't mind, if you are watching this on YouTube, if you enjoyed the video, click like, subscribe. That'd be awesome. This show is every Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you came into the stream a little bit late, and you're here right now, just take a look at the time and subtract an hour from it. And every Wednesday, that's when this goes. If you'd like to subscribe here on Picardo.tv, you can do so, and you'll get an email notification whenever we go live. And hopefully this webcam thing works out. I'm enjoying I don't know. I find when I go to other streams, it's kind of fun to see the person. Who knows if it'll stick. But other than that, what else we got to say? That's it. Castle Dracula, real quick update. I've been trying to sneak in maybe like 10 to 30 minutes a week, if I'm lucky an hour a week, just to do some designs and think a story and all that. So we'll be getting into that as well. And if you guys, I did say last week, but on Patreon, if you are a Patreon, you guys can head over there and there'll be more, like that's where I'll be dumping all my updates and high resolution images, scripts, production work there first before I share it with everybody else. So if you're interested in that, it's not out yet. I'll let you guys know when that's going, so there's no rush. But check on over there, see if there's something you like, and all that good stuff. Yep, thank you guys. Yeah, I know the sound probably sucks, massive, whatever. The sound will be easy to fix once we get either a better webcam or I can just figure out a better way to do this. So yeah, I guess that's it. So again, thank you guys so much for stopping by with me tonight. Hope you had a good time. And until next Wednesday, keep reading comics, keep making comics, and I'll see you then. Bye.